Arrivederci and welcome to Inside Albania with me, Alice Taylor. Today I'm joined in the studio by Kosovo's former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Milica Haradinaj. Hello, welcome to Inside Albania.
Thank you for having me, Alice.
You've been a guest on the show before, but I wanted to talk about a number of issues with you today, and it's better to do this in person.
Definitely, yes.
So, it's been quite a year in terms of what's been happening in Kosovo, with the EU, with the US, with Serbia, relations with Albania. It's probably been the most challenging year in terms of being a journalist trying to report on the situation. What I want to start talking about this week is we had a NATO meeting of foreign ministers this week, and we had NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg expressing his concern about escalating tensions in the Western Balkan regions. He talked about how NATO is going to do its best to maintain stability. There might be more troops sent. He mentioned increased tensions and a provocative rhetoric in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Serious incidents of violence in Kosovo, including the attack on NATO peacekeepers, and of course the terrorist attack in September. We also had the German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock saying that external actors are constantly trying to destabilize the region and that peace often hangs by a thread. She also mentioned Kosovo, in particular the border with Serbia, and in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Meanwhile, the EU's chief diplomat Joseph Borrell said the EU and NATO would continue to ensure stability and peace and security in the region, particularly in Kosovo and in the border with Serbia. Now, we have three very powerful, very high-profile diplomats here, all making it very clear there are big security risks in the Western Balkans. Now, it's very clear to me, and I think to you as well, even though they didn't say it, the common denominator here is Belgrade. Definitely. Belgrade is behind all of these issues that they mentioned. Now, why are they not calling a spade and saying Serbia is behind all of this? And what action are they taking aside from these words?
Unfortunately, Alice, that is totally true. We've seen the West being very tolerant on Serbia's growing destructiveness in the region, not only specifically with Kosovo, but we've seen it in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we've seen it with Montenegro, we've seen issues as well as Russian influence via Serbia as a proxy in Macedonia as well. So it's the whole region, and it's the Serbia who has to be designated as the one who does these belligerent acts in the Western Balkans region. So unfortunately, after the full-scale Russian invasion in Ukraine, contrary to popular belief that we thought that the West will tie its loose ends in fragile regions of the Western Balkans, we've seen the total opposite. We've seen actually the Western Balkans gradually backsliding into a very dangerous cycle of certain elements, and those are a faded international attention, also lowering diplomatic goals and ambitions, specifically with Kosovo. We know that before the Russian invasion in Ukraine, all that was discussed about was the mutual diplomatic recognition between Kosovo and Serbia. However, after the invasion, we only hear lowering goals like de facto recognition or other terms or other designations of a solution, of an intermediate solution, not a final one. So this immediately backslides the region, and specifically Kosovo-Serbia issue, to a lower level of attention, and as well encourages Serbia to move stronger and more intensively, as it did in September 24th, with its, as I said, belligerent acts, violent acts, inciting dangerous violence in the fragile region of a border between Kosovo and Serbia, training and executing dangerous paramilitary attacks, crimes of aggression as it did in Banska in September 24th. And we also see the West being totally silent about it. It's been almost 2 months, and we haven't seen a clear designation of what the September 24th crime of aggression was. We've just seen some of the states unilaterally mentioning that it was a terrorist attack, but they didn't say it was orchestrated, organized, and executed by the Serbian state apparatus, by their political, military, and intelligence service.
And in fact,
And this is what the region needs, actually, because
Yes.
Serbia needs to be isolated if it does all of these destructive acts
Yes.
against its neighboring countries.